anhydrous dextrose, barley malt, crystalline fructose, dextrin, Florida crystals, king syrup, panocha, rapadura, succinate, treacle, and xylose. Did you know that a whopping 80% of the foods that we purchase in the grocery store contain added sugars, and that even just drinking one of today's popular drinks would blow daily added sugar recommendations out of the water? Let's dive into all the ways that sugar is hiding in your foods. Hi, and welcome to Nature's Path to Wellness. My name is Wendy, and did you know the recommended daily amount of added sugars, which I feel is still too high, is about 25 grams for women and 38 grams for men? But let's consider a single pop or soda, which contains about 40 grams of added sugar, and one bottle about 42 grams. A coffee from Starbucks could contain as much as 47 grams of added sugars. If we are mindful of what we are eating in order to help control our blood sugar levels, we are likely aware that we should be looking at the nutrition facts panel on food we purchase in order to understand how much sugar we are consuming in a serving of whatever it is that we're eating. So if you're not sure how to properly discern all of the information on the nutrition facts panel, check back soon, as I will be doing a video on that shortly. You need to understand what you see on the nutrition facts panel shows a typical serving of that particular food. So for example, if we are looking at a box of cereal, what we see there is the ingredients, as well as the amount of carbohydrates, fats, proteins, sugars, any vitamins or minerals that are contained in one single serving. One also needs to consider a serving is not typical for everyone, and the serving amount is clearly labeled on the nutrition facts panel. So with the example of cereal, a serving may be 1/2 cup. This would not include the milk that you would add, which could also contain sugar and would need to be counted toward your overall tally for sugar in that serving. You would be able to see the sugar grams listed, and you can also gather how much sugar is in a product based on its position in the ingredients. So if sugar is the first ingredient, then the product is made mostly from sugar and then the ingredients that follow. And just because a product says that it is made from whole grains or is fortified does not mean that it does not also contain sugar, and let's face it, that it's even healthy. You might be surprised to know that many of the foods that you consider to be healthy often have a lot of added sugars. Foods such as yogurt, breakfast cereal, pasta sauce, condiments such as ketchup, and many of the beverages that you may consume in a day, including fruit juice. But what if sugar has more than one name? And you can bet that it does. In fact, depending on which expert you consult, sugar has at least 60 other names. And you may ask me, well, why does that matter? It does matter a lot because sugar, in my opinion, is assault with a deadly weapon against humanity. And what they don't tell us is that sugar is the precursor to one of the world's deadliest diseases, which is type 2 diabetes. And you don't need to be obese to develop type 2 diabetes. If everyone understood how, on the one hand, type 2 diabetes can affect every single organ in your body, and how, on the other hand, it is completely avoidable and reversible, you would be maybe more inclined to pay attention to how much sugar is hiding in your food. Heart attacks are the leading cause of death for both men and women in the US, and you are twice as likely to suffer a heart attack if you have type 2 diabetes. And you are more likely to develop heart disease at a much younger age if you have type 2 diabetes. Blindness is most often caused by type 2 diabetes in the US, and many people are suffering the effects from diabetic retinopathy without even knowing yet that they are diabetic. If you have insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, you are more likely to develop non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And if you understand all of the functions in your body that your liver is responsible for, you would understand how important it is to not develop this condition. Type 2 diabetes can lead to the degradation of your kidneys in the form of diabetic nephropathy. and about 1 in 3 diabetics in the US have this condition. Your kidneys are responsible for filtering out the waste from your system and help to control your blood pressure. So you can imagine if you are having kidney issues related to diabetes, you will also be having high blood pressure issues soon if you don't already. And the scary part is most people will have insulin resistance for up to 10 years before even being diagnosed with having type 2 diabetes. This is why it is so important to understand how much sugar you are consuming in the foods that you eat daily. Just because a product may not say sugar as an ingredient doesn't mean that it does not contain sugar in some form. These other sugars are still very much responsible for the assault on your body in terms of raising insulin levels, causing insulin resistance, hyperinsulinemia, and type 2 diabetes. It is absolutely criminal, in my opinion, that food manufacturers can get away with producing food products with all of these hidden sugars, and you should be fully aware and armed with this information the next time that you head to the grocery store. I'm going to list a few of these alternative sugar names that you should be aware of, and I will provide a larger list in the description of this video down below, as well as a link to a downloadable PDF which you can print or save on your phone for the very next time that you go to the grocery store. Evaporated cane juice, diastase, dextrose, ethyl maltol, maltose, high fructose corn syrup, galactose, maltodextrin, mannitol, rice syrup, brown rice syrup, sorghum syrup, sorbitol, and sucrose. Why are these added sugars, or in other words, not naturally occurring sugars, in the particular food item that we are consuming? Why are they put into our foods? Well, since the food industry moved toward highly processed foods around the 1970s with the deception that fats are bad for us and essentially breads, cereals, rice, and pasta were better for us, and we were instructed to consume 6 to 11 servings of these items per day, more and more processed and convenience foods became available to us. Sugars were added. Why? This is easy. Sugar is addictive. In fact, it is as addictive as drugs and alcohol for most people. And just the thought of a single candy can elicit a dopamine release, which is a neurotransmitter that controls the pleasure and reward motivated behavior in us. One has to wonder if the food industry works hand in hand with the doctors and the pharmaceutical companies to get you hooked, get you sick, and get you medicated, never even bothering to tell you that you can correct this by eating whole foods, whole grains, plants, veggies, and fruits. Instead, I see people prescribed medication and then another medication for the issues that result when the first medication is not doing its job, because I honestly have to wonder if it was even meant to in the first place. Then they are moved on to insulin, which is not correcting the problem at all when you understand fully how insulin works. In fact, in short, insulin is the problem. Being not only a nutritionist, but also someone who once had type 2 diabetes and reversed it, I intend to make it my mission to ensure that everyone I reach is aware that they can stop this epidemic, that you can reverse insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes and go on to live a long and healthy life without complications that become inevitable when sugar is in control of your life, and without having to take all kinds of medications, including insulin, and having unnecessary surgeries. I encourage you to take a good look at the list of the other names for sugar that I have included in the video description below. And please download the PDF or save it for your future reference. My wholehearted desire is to see you healthy. If you would like to learn more about insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, reversing it, and how to take back control of your own health, please like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. I do look forward to seeing you again next time, and until then, be healthy.